Hey, fragrance friends and lovers, how's it going today? How's the fragrance world? How's the fragrance life? Hope that everybody's doing all right out there. Sorry if I don't look too well put together. I did just work outside. Hopefully, my hands aren't too dirty. I put in a lot of effort to get the polyurethane, wood finish off of it. I've been finishing some yard tools, fixing them up, giving them the love they needed. They were old and weathered. I don't know if y'all work outside or use too many tools, but take care of them. And as the old saying goes, take care of something and it'll take care of you. How's everybody doing? How's this Saturday go? How's the fragrance world and the fragrance life? I've been enjoying Fan Your Flames yesterday, and I'm trying the fragrance. What was it called? I might have to Google it. I think it is by Christian LaCroix. It's a discontinued fragrance. It's called Riviolte, something like that. I'm probably saying it wrong, but interesting discontinued fragrance, and I think it helped bring us to modern fragrances. I don't know if y'all want me to do a review of that fragrance. Let me know if you would like to see a review of more discontinued fragrances. I don't dive too deep into discontinued fragrances, but I do think it's fascinating on the historical perspective to see Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme and some of these fragrances like this one. Again, the one I was just mentioning and talking about, the Christian LaCroix's, I think it was like Riviolte. And it was kind of brought some of the old to the new and helped us transition. And I never heard of a lot of those fragrances. Again, we're watching reviews during that time period, and I guess they weren't talked about or spoken about in that way. So I Smell says, I was just on Mr. Smelly's live stream again with Chris and Scentland, and he subbed to my channel. It was a great day. Happy to see you, I Smell, and welcome to Fragcom. Happy to see that people are joining you. Richard, good to see you. Says, what's good, Vincent, of the day is Jungle Jezebel. I've heard really good things about it. I think I faintly remember that one was animalic. Please do tell me more. I would like to try it, but it's one I'm a little bit iffy on. Like Portrait of a Lady, I have tried it. It took me a little while to get a sample, and although I think it's a good fragrance, it's personally not my style and my personality. Monday, I will be releasing my top 10 fall fragrances, and again, hopefully y'all understand, but taste change and also what a reviewer might want to share also changes, like what's currently available, what currently is kind of at the best price. That's a big factor into my list. Also what I've been wearing, and also I've really been downsizing. I got my collection down to maybe in the 40s. Again, I've talked about that, but I'm kind of happy about that. And I kind of love that I'm only keeping fragrances that I truly love. And every time I wear a fragrance, it's super special. That's how I feel about it. So Randy says, hi, Ben. Good to see you. Hope you're well, Ben. Good to see you. Ads. Have you tried any Orto Parisi? Let me Google those real quick. The name sounds familiar, but I don't know if I have. Again, please share your scent of the day, everybody. Again, a couple days ago, I was testing and really liking Fan Your Flames by Nishane once again. But also, again, I dived into a vintage one. Again, it was called like Christian LaCroix Riviolte. Anyways, I'm trying to get my internet to work, but it's going slow. It's going real slow. So hopefully it's not lagging on your end. My goodness. My browser says it's not responding. Oh, goodness. Please work with us now. Anyways, what's your scent of the day, everybody? What are you smelling like, and how has life been treating you? And we will get into our topic. You all saw the title. You clicked on this video. What did you do? I sold them on eBay. There's probably better places again to sell them. And I guess I could mess with fragrance groups and avoid the fees, but I've just felt it convenient. And once you build somewhat of a reputation on eBay, it's nice to, for somebody to see that you have a couple hundred, reviews and that you're highly rated. And it makes you, and to me, that makes you look really respectable. And I know I have at least I think that to most people, I'd have a really good reputation in Fragcom, but or people would want to deal with me, but I don't know. I just haven't really nothing against the buy, sell, trade, swap people, but that's just not something I usually do. Maybe I should do that more, and I would maybe I'd find some of the discontinued stuff. It's kind of too expensive. I don't know if I could eat a bottle of it right now, but I do want a bottle of Black Gold by Ormond Jane. I think it's discontinued, and some boutiques, even regular retail price before discontinuation, were selling 100 ml bottles for as much as $500. So it's not a cheap one. So today, Atkinson's Oud Save the King. That's a good one. Atkinson's are highly rated, and there's some really good deals on those if you can find them for a fair price. The Chopards, too, really highly underrated. There was some love for Amber Malaki. With Atkinson's, there was some talk of Pirates Grand Reserve. Amber Empire's pretty good. I'm trying to remember. There's one that's it's based on it's a citrusy, like a minty one. I can't remember what it's called right now, but there's some pretty good ones. I've been tempted to get Pirates Grand Reserve. I just hear it's a little bit floral and powdery, and I hear some people don't feel like it's boozy like they expected. So I don't know. Randy says, how do you feel about Serge Lutens no longer distributing in the US of A? I was wondering about that they were kind of difficult to get a hold of. I'm hoping I'm giving Serge Lutens the benefit of the doubt that it's just temporary. A lot of things are very difficult right now with distribution and pricing, and also legalities of shipping. Things like especially like perfumes and fragrances. I hope that they get back to it. There's still a lot of Serge Lutens from their vaulted collection, if you don't know, in France. At certain boutiques, it's not even in France in general. It's just a couple of their special original stores. They have some of their older formulated fragrances that they still make, but they put it in a special bottle. And I think that they're a little bit more expensive, but they're supposedly some of their best. And I really would like to try those. But I don't know. I think that they'll start distributing again in the US of A or the USA. But again, I don't know how popular they are. I really don't know how well Serge Lutens is selling. I know Cherokee is fairly popular. I've seen some love for Serge Lutens in the fragrance groups. There's that that Diablo or Diable one that got some of the ladies love the name of that. It had a very funny name. And there's what was that called? Like there's a Boisé de Vanilla or something like that. Vanille de Boisé. That's a lot of people really love and still talk good about. So I think there's some love for Serge Lutens. I don't know how well they sell. They certainly haven't gone. A lot of their fragrances haven't gone super mainstream, and I don't know. Maybe they're not selling as they want. We'll see. Boisé 1920 is also another fragrance house that I know that they have fairly limited distribution in the USA too. So kind of tough times, but hopefully things get back to normal. Zig says Orto Parisi are the brothers of Nasamato. Oh, I can picture them now in my head. I think there wasn't there. They made Mega Mare. I remember that, and they had like a chocolatey, earthy one that people were talking really highly about. And I think that there was something else. I can't exactly put my head space on it, but I know that there's another one some people in Fragcon were speaking highly about. Honestly, I haven't really explored them yet. I need to dive into them. They're definitely on my list. Again, I still have like 100 niche samples to review and plenty of other things. And it's going to come out on Monday for y'all, but I still haven't even got my fall list out to y'all. So, and I have 30 plus videos ready to go. And, that's a lot of content. That's months and months. And again, I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with YouTube because, I try to be very aware of what's happening. And again, I'm going to be straight to the point, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. And other fragrance reviewers, I guess, don't care or don't want to talk about these issues. But YouTube censorship is a huge deal, and recently there's a whole new wave of it. I'm not trying to take a position. This is a fragrance channel, especially, but on what's right or what's wrong. But in general, and again, YouTube is a platform. Of course, they can do whatever they want, but the real problem is that they get funding, and you could argue that they're a monopoly, but that's not even my point. My point is that they get funded and supported and integrated and established, and you really almost can't even function. If you try to work outside of mainframes with Google's, like companies now require you, jobs I would like to do or would have liked to do, require you to use Microsoft products, and not, I mean, in general, but also Google products, like through Google Chrome, like extensions. And if you didn't want to do that, I guess wouldn't have a job in that regard. So, anyways, yeah, it's a mess. YouTube's a mess. We won't talk too much about that tonight, though. But I hope that y'all will look into it. Serge, 5 o'clock Gingembre, really nice fragrance, really nice. I've spoken really highly about it, and I do feel like there's some love for it in the community. And again, thank you for bringing up the Ultra Parisi. They are on my try list, and I do need to get my nose on more of those. I've heard some pretty good things about them. So Ronald says, evening, scent of the day, La Lique Encre Noir, the Extreme. I always say Allah, but I know it's not Allah. It's like L or something. It's written straight, funny. Anyways, nice choice. Really nice choice. Great value. I don't know if you can still find it as cheap. You used to be able to find that one for like 30, 35 bucks, and outrageous value if you're looking for that, bangers for the money. Ad says Toroni. That might be the one. Is that the earthy chocolatey one? Randy says Ombre Sultan. Oh, yes, that is a great one, and I have spoken very highly about that one. Ombre Sultan, and recommended that one to the gentleman. Of course, anybody can wear anything, wear whatever the heck you want. But that's a confident amber, that's for sure. Ad says, I look forward to the video on Monday. I'm happy to share. I hope that y'all look forward to that. I was a little bit more laid back in the video, being with fall and trying to get cozy. Maybe, I felt like I just took it easy. I didn't give a huge amount of details. But hopefully y'all enjoy the video, just seeing, what I'm going to be enjoying wearing this fall. And again, please feel free to share your sense of, what you're wearing and your favorite fall fragrances. If you want to talk about that here or anywhere, message me on Instagram, and I make posts and ask questions. So I'd love to get everybody involved. I Smell says, do you do tag videos? I collaborate with several curators and would be curious to know your stance. I'm not against tag videos. I had Joel the Nose tag me, and somebody else, I can't remember right now, did a tag. And tags are nice, and tags can be good, but I almost feel like people should message the other person, because I mean, I am sub to these people and I do watch their content fairly, but it'd be nice if you had an invite and then I had a message somewhere where I could archive it and remind myself to do it. I never did those. And honestly, it really depends on the tag video. It depends on the topic. I mean, I got tagged in like a white t-shirt tag video. I mean, I know white t-shirts are a thing, like taking it easy on a summer day, laid back, but I don't know how fun or relevant of a tag that is. You'd have to let me know if y'all think that's a good topic or not. But Stacks in the building. Good to see you, Stacks. How's life treating you? What's good? So I do want to do collaboration videos where everybody is able to send a short video. And I think I'm going to try to carry the tradition of a Halloween fragrance video. So again, it's hard to get a hold of everybody. I don't want to message everybody individually. I'd like there to be a certain Facebook group where I could just send the invitation. One time I did that. I just sent a post out and invitation. And I know that a bunch of fragrance reviewers did see the post. Not everybody, but nobody really sent a message to me to request. A lot of people want me to individually message them and ask them to join in a collaboration. And that's all fine and good, but then some people feel left out. So I really don't know how I should approach that. But I would like to make a Halloween collaboration video and a Christmas one, and for some of these seasons to just build up the community. Hope that y'all see that I really do love the community, and that's one of the topics I'm about to get into. I won't talk about it too much, but it's kind of interesting. But I'm grateful for some people who are willing to give me another perspective. I don't know everything. Again, I'm a little bit nerdy, and some people would think wordy, but I certainly don't know everything. And it's good to see other people's perspective and headspace. I'll mention that here in a second. But Chris Sitland told me I was a cool, genuine, and breath of fresh air. Nice I smell. Professor X says, "How's it going, Mr. Bean? Good to see you, Professor X. Dastardly. Good to see you in the house, my friend." Zig T says, "I heard you just say that Portrait of a Lady isn't for you. Why is that?" I do feel like it's maybe a tiny bit feminine. It's very unisex. Anybody can wear it. It's just not really my style. It's a little bit creamy. It's a little bit laid back. If I wanted like something laid back and demure, I could get Serge Luton Cherokee. I could get something deeper or heavier on the woods or darker. It's just not personally my style, but it's a very respectable fragrance, and it's nice. But I don't know. It's not my personality. And again, I encourage everybody to find their fragrances that suit their personality. There's lots of fragrances that are amazing, and there's lots of fragrances that are really good. But if you don't personally connect to that story, and fragrance, I'm not saying that every fragrance has to have a story or have a fragrance memory, even though some people care a lot about that. But you personally have to identify with that fragrance or connect to it. I think that's an important part that sometimes we might forget in the FragCon. Portrait of a Lady is great. Like, for example, Eau de Desert Marocaine. I love the Eau de Desert version that came after it. It's like a concentrate version almost, or I don't know, like a parfum. Like an extreme version almost. And I like it better than the Marocaine version, but I know that not everybody feel the same about that. Sup, beauty queens. Hey, Judd the Stud. How's it going? Ultra Super says, "Hey, Ben, how's life been?" I'm doing pretty good. I've been trying to keep it together. I'm about to, try to get that. Again, I've been mentioning soap forever, but really am trying to get that together. My life has been kind of crazy. But trying to get life in order, trying to get a little bit more of my health right and learn more about health and a lot of things. So Ultra Super says, "Ben, have you been? It's been a while. Where's your hair?" I miss it. Oh, well, I just got kind of annoyed of it. It'll come back, but I just got kind of annoyed of it. And I just, just said, let it rip and, let a lot of the hair go. It'll be fine. And again, it looks a little bit low in general because it's a close cut, but also because I was just sweating outside so a little bit. So, what's your favorite boozy fragrance? Fan Your Flames by Nichane is one of them. That one has rum. Enigma, Creation E, the cologne version especially is really nice. I forget if that's cognac or rum. Might be cognac, but there's some. I'm trying to think. A look at my collection. I don't know if recently I have anything particularly boozy. I do want to try the new Killian Apple Brandy on the Rocks, but I've heard it's just a fresher version. Some people are telling me that it's not all that in a bag of chips, but I had high hopes on it, and I still want to try it. I don't know if I don't think I'm going to blind buy it, but that's one definitely to try. If you're looking for boozy fragrances, Nasomalto's Baranda, I still think is in production, and that certainly is one of the best ones out there. We want some Frag videos, bro. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely more and more. And again, there are more and more people jumping into the Fragcom. And again, do pay attention to my community tab. I'm going to try to do that and more short videos, and try to shout out the community that way in a fun, carefree type of way. Again, me sitting down and trying to make a big list where I have to remember details about people and then try to edit it, then taking like a whole hour to do that or something. I don't know if I'm going to do another one of those shout out videos, but I do care about Fragcom, And if y'all didn't pay attention, I put out like 2 huge lists of like 20 or more people a little while back on the community tab. So there's a lot to click through, and there's a lot of cool people popping in, popping out. So Ultra Super says, Ben, sampling quite a few releases. Dolce Gabbana, the one Luminous Night stands out. So you like that one? You think it's a good one? I've heard fairly good things about the new releases of Dolce Gabbana, the new ones. I do want to try them, but I don't know. The accessibility and the price on those really haven't been getting into that as much. And I've been trying to slow down and only buy the fragrances that I really like. Again, I don't make a ton of money from YouTube or just in general. And I'm trying to be responsible and trying to work towards goals and trying to invest in myself. Spending everything I have in the bank to review a fragrance is, not a wise decision. I Smell says, if you're looking for a super supplement, look into Moringa. Yeah, definitely go look trying to research into the natural stuff for sure. Stack says, I haven't really been getting into edits yet, but for now I'm just dropping content. Yeah, I don't really like doing the editing, but I do know that editing has lots of value. If you are able to if you have experience like movie making, it can be a lot of fun. But fragrance wise, I know it can be done, and I'm sure somebody's going to come around and find a really fun ways to do lots of edits and make fragrance reviews funny and witty. But I could do some of it, but I almost would rather do it like record video games, like reviews or movies, because I could put so much more humor and I don't know details outside. I mean, with fragrances, there's fragrance commercials and there's what perfumers have said and some other. Sometimes there's very little that you could edit into a video. Sometimes there's a bit. But let's see. Time to Musk Up says, "Yo, Ben, good to see you. Stacks, good to see you." Says, "Oh, Rudy, yo, everybody's greeting each other. That's good. What's up, Musk? I see you. Okay, live streams. Okay, so let's get into my little topic here real quick, and after that, we will talk about the new fragrance releases. And again, feel free to talk about what's on your mind, what you're thinking about, and your sense of the day. Please share." Ultra Super says, I am stressed right now watching the thermometer reaching 81 degrees in my room because the AC's out. I think that should be fine for your fragrances. That's not going to hurt your fragrances. Again, I have the fan on and I don't have the best air conditioning. And I'm sure my room, gets that to that. The worst it's going to do, I'm sure you're keeping your fragrances out of direct sunlight from a window or something. The worst it's going to do is maybe try to eat at the top notes, like your citrus, the citrus and the florals and those top notes just a little bit faster. But again, most fragrances are going to last a very long time. So I don't know, maybe you have a cave or maybe you want to put your fragrances in the closet. I'm sure that there's somewhere in your house. If you really wanted to, you're in an apartment. I'm sorry, but maybe there's somewhere cooler you could put them if you want to. Time to Mess Up says, how you doing? Oh, I smell. Hey, Ben. Oh, yeah, Solomon's Vineyard and the house. Good to see you, my friend. And I'm trying to shout out and trying to understand who everybody is. And I know there's a lot of new people in FragCon, but Solomon's Vineyard, he's a cool guy just having fun, kicking it back there. And I feel like he's got, that pure love of fragrance. It's like innocent. It's almost like a child. He's got that pure love of fragrance. And shout out to Solomon's Vineyard. He's a cool guy. He's been a friend to me. And helps me puts me in a good mood sometimes. Honestly, I Solomon's Vineyard, you probably don't know, but you put me in a good mood and help me think. Kind of brings me back to feeling that friendship and that kind of love of fragrance and just I don't know. You'd say brotherly love. I don't know what the best word for that be. Just love in general. That you don't always see in FragCom anymore. So, a shout out to you, my friend. Icemel says, I enjoyed editing personally, not to mention I tend to ramble. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you got to edit yourself and make things concise and cut out the all that. So gold standard as it relates to top notch editing. Yeah, there's some people who are very good at editing. I think his name was Fragrant. Was it Fragrant Shark? There were some people who came out a little while back. It might have been like a year ago or so, but they had like experience actually with editing, and they did some things with like their intros. I'm like, that's like movie quality, intros. So anyway, Solomon's Vineyard says, "Hey, Frag, good to see you." Stack says, "OG, yes, okay, yeah, absolutely, Solomon." So let's get into that topic. Y'all want that topic? Hope in Fragcom. I honestly, I wanted to bring up this topic because I don't know. Maybe y'all are going to think I'm absolutely crazy. Just let me explain myself. So last Sunday, Monday or so, I was listening or looking into some things that happened, and I'm not going to talk about who these people are or what they said, and sometimes people argue, but this time it was more than that. And I just, I have completely different ideals about what class and respect and some of these core issues are with some people in Fragcom. I'm not going to say who they are, what the topic even was, because I'm not trying to start attack or start drama or anything. But I have completely different ideals, regarding what fragrance reviewers could be or should be doing. But I'm not here trying to tell people what to do on their fragrance channel. I just when you look up to somebody again, and you wish somebody the best, and I come from a culture, and or at least I have the attitude. And again, it's burned me before, but I felt like burned because I just like asked a question. And I guess it was a pointed question. It was kind of making suggesting a point, but then people just say you're wrong. And I was asking a question, and I made very astute observations, and then for somebody to just say you're wrong, and again, somebody who's fairly well respected, fairly well received in Fragcom, and I just realized that I'm just I got to find people and just care about who's going to support me back, and I guess that's what you have to do in life. And at first, I was a little bit down about that. It sounds like a sad topic. It sounds like a negative thing, but then you realize that you can find happiness in yourself and find the good people who actually connect with and that you care about. So I guess I'm trying to make it crystal clear that I don't care about the people who are promoting drama or promoting more of an entertainment side of Fragcom. I'm here for the people who want to show their love of fragrance in a true, authentic, fun type of way. Sure, they can be fun about it, but to focus more on the entertainment side of it, kind of taking away from the fragrances and teaching people anything. I'm here for the people who share their pure passion of fragrance and share what they know, even if it's a little bit of what they know. Everybody's got some knowledge. Everybody's got some perspective. And, if you're not sharing information that's helpful or relevant, I don't know. And there's been plenty of people, I still care about them. I still wish them the best in the Fragcom. There's a lot of people in the Fragcom where I'm just like, I just can't. I just can't, as they say these days. So let's see here. So I hope that's a little bit. I don't know if any of y'all feel that way, but I'm not trying to pick sides or divide Fragcom, but you got to watch who you support, and I think that's very clear these days that some people. I don't know if it's what YouTube wants. Maybe YouTube is promoting certain ideas or attitudes or styles of reviewing, but there's people who clearly not so interested in fragrances. They're more interested maybe in fame or, playing some kind of game. If people can't even ask you questions, very relevant questions, and if you get offended by relevant basic questions, there's a problem. Or if you just refuse to answer basic questions, and it's a how the world is. It's a crazy place. So Let's see here. You, sir, you got it. Yeah, you got a friend in me too, as they say. From Toy Story. Was that back in the day, huh? Let's see here. Got to be specific if we're going to understand. No, I'm just talking about principles. I'm not talking about people in general. Hopefully that made sense. I hope it did. If you have questions, let me know. But I'm not going to get too much into it. I asked a question, and I don't know. People seem to gossip, and again, I wish people would actually, have a discussion with me about certain things. I did lose some Instagram followers just because of a question or something that I asked in the comment section, and if don't didn't see my point or don't care to talk to me about the potential point, I guess that's fine. I guess that's fine. If you don't want to watch me, if you have a problem with people just asking basic questions, so uh, anyways, just on one writing. See here. Sometimes I like to eat in a fancy restaurant. Sometimes I like McDonald's. Are you talking about in fragrances in general? Judd the says, "Yeah, my man Muskie. Just one my wheel." Yes, I mean, hey, designers are good, niche are good. So who? No, I'm not gonna say. I don't. I'm not really gonna say. I'm not trying to start a fight or anything with these people, but if you know who's trying to be loud and get attention and possibly cause problems, I mean y'all possibly could know what's I might be referring to. I don't know. I thought about maybe not saying anything regarding the deeper issue that I was kind of mentioning it, possibly getting at in that comment, but it was more broad. But Frag, I'm not gonna leave Fragcom, but but I'm still possibly gonna leave YouTube. But what I'm gonna say is, I think that YouTube, I mean, the Fragcom is primed for the metagame. I didn't know if I was going to say this. I'm not going to go deep into it because some people think it's very political and some people think it's a very bad thing to talk about. But we're going to have people come in to the Fragcom and even more. And they're not really going to be here for fragrance. They're not really going to care about fragrance that much. They're not really going to care about building other people up. They're going to care about YouTube fame, and also I might get flagged for this. The best way I'm going to say is sexuality. If you know anything about what metagame is, it's everything from like Amaranth or these famous people who have it's a very famous thing. It's a trendy word. I don't know if y'all are very familiar with it. And again, I support women. I said Katie Puckrick should be more popular than Jeremy Fragrance. I don't know how more clear I can be about that, but with our current culture, that some of that's going on. And in YouTube, I mean, it's already happened. I won't say who, but y'all know who it is and what. And but I think we're going to get even more of that. And there's an attitude of like, if you can't beat the ladies, join the ladies. And there's some people in Fragcom who are kind of starting to think that way. And maybe culturally, that's one of the issues going on. But it's like, no, I talked about that really early on my fragrance channel. I could get a lady here smelling fragrances and judging fragrances with me. And that's, to just grow my fragrance channel. I'm not gonna, take away from what I want a fragrance channel to be, what I think a fragrance reviewer should be. So anyways, enough about that. So what's it's fresh, nice, no, bro, say no names. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Like I could, and there's been many times I've been tempted to do that kind of stuff. But saying Rick, no one actually cares about that anymore, do they? I hope that they care about fragrance if that's what you're talking about. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Maybe we did like 6 years ago. Yeah, that's exactly like 6 years ago. Everybody, if you found somebody on YouTube, they were talking about a fragrance and they were talking about what the fragrance was and how it smelled, and it was like pure. These days, I won't get any more to it, but and people joke and say it's like true Instagram, and some of these places are essentially like dating services, and Fragcom. With the meta game, that's kind of what's becoming. It's kind of a game like that. Fragcom is overtly saturated. So you feel like there's too many people reviewing fragrances? I think more the merrier. I think it's fun for more people to join and share their passion of fragrances. And I don't know. I don't know. Not demographics, but viewership to reviewers. I really don't know if the fragrance content. I don't know if it's any more saturated than makeup or video games or food content or vlogging or anything else. I really don't know, but I'm not sure. I see a lot of fragrance reviewers, but that's because I pay more attention to them. I really don't know how many travel bloggers there, for example, there really are out there compared to how many people watch that content. I really don't know. I don't have as good of a grasp on something like that. So, yeah, I smell. You're kind of getting at it. I'm not. I'm not gonna. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Stud says, "Man, I have thoughts about any of that, bro. That's much extra stuff to worry about. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it, but I do care about Fragcom, and I think it's going more of that's going to happen. And society or societally, I can't even think of how to say it. Wise, I am concerned about society, I guess, and Fragcom in general, but I know I'm not trying to tell people what to do. It's just you know it's a funny world, and you wish that things were different sometimes. I smell says, but I truly feel all those for are just targeting. Yeah, I'm not saying, I don't know, I'm not trying to say some of these people or some of these ladies don't care about fragrances. I just feel like we are going to get more and more of these people who care less about fragrances, and I feel that, and it's kind of that's kind of begun, but there's still going to be smaller fragrance reviewers who put their passion out there, who care about each other, support each other, and review fragrances. Don't care about the YouTube views, and aren't going to sacrifice their principles or what they think a fragrance channel should be. And that's what you got to care about. I think that's what we have to care about. And I guess this is a tough subject because people being a YouTubers generally want to grow, and they think about how you can grow. And I don't know. It's a mess. So Richard says, all I wear is niche. No, more often, 80% of reviewers don't even review the types of perfumes I wear. What do you review? What do you wear, Richard? And I try to review a bit of everything. Again, it's very hard for somebody to review lots of niche fragrances unless they have a lot of money, or collaborate with a distributor or something like that. It's very difficult to keep it up. Again, I've spent thousands of dollars on my channel, and I don't have much of an income, but I put a lot of passion into this, and I'm hoping that there is a light at the end of the tunnel in this adventure for me, that I can come out at least a little bit better. Because again, I got out of college, I tried my best, I did all these things, and then really put my life into fragrance and and risked it all. Not a lot of return, not a lot of return at all. Stacks Review says, yeah, Rudy, that's why I didn't want to start a channel, because I did it. I know would have any type of input, but oh well, already started a channel. Yeah, Stacks Reviews. I mean, have fun, go at it, and do your thing. That's what this is all about. And that's kind of what I was getting at. I don't want you to be discouraged, Stacks. Again, don't look at the viewership. Do your thing. Be happy. If you want to look at your YouTube analytics and look at how you can do your personal style, don't feel defeated because somebody can show more skin or or I don't, kind of do something and like that. You know, somebody out here eventually. I'm not saying, I'm not promising anything, but we are probably will have a few people who break through because of a certain, certain personality and they do focus more on fragrances. There's going to be some more of that, like smelling good fragrance reviews, and some of these people, we're going to have a few people break through who focus a little bit more on fragrance. And there's still some people who still do, they're still fragrance reviewers, for sure, out there. Sense of Smell says, "What's going on, Ben? How are you?" And everyone, good to see you, Sense of Smell. And we're doing good over here. Really kind of said everything I wanted to say. I hope that I came through, and said what I need to say. But that's been on my chest. People are promoting, trying to, some people in Fragcom are trying to collaborate with the lady reviewers and get that success and promote their channel and promote, certain people who are playing up to not exactly the meta game, but pretty much almost there. And you certainly can't call them, some of these people, ladies. And I shouldn't even say that. Some people are going to get mad, but there's some of these people, and they're, say that they're respectful people and are, respectable. I guess you should respect everybody, but they're certainly not ladies. Certainly not. With the goal that makes a job work, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Judd the Stud. You don't get to 100. Yeah, it seems like that way. It seems that you have to, you got to put out for somebody. If it's YouTube, I don't know what you got to do. I could make some more jokes. Y'all probably think I'm on the deep end already, but I'm not gonna. I just had some humor come to mind. Y'all might not. I'm restraining myself. Natalie says it's very easy to tell who is getting sponsored. I think it is fairly easy to tell, Natalie, and I do. And the funny thing is, some people get sponsored, but then it's indirect. It's one thing if you're getting sponsored by a distributor, because the distributor wants you to mention their company so you buy from them. I mean, that makes somewhat of sense. And also, I guess you want to make sales. I guess you would want to help that distributor. That makes sense, and I guess might lead you to possibly be a shill. But there's people in Fragcom, certainly some people who have gotten sponsorships directly from the fragrance companies, and it doesn't matter if they get sold through a certain company or where the fragrance is sold. If they up the sales, that's what the company wants. So I wish that more distributors would work with people, but there is shady business and legalities. There's lots of people who have broken YouTube service, or I don't know if I don't know if that's breaking the law, but there's certainly a lot of people who could or possibly should have a reckoning. But I mean, what are we going to do, or what can you do? So I've had my channel for approximately 3 months and already have just under 200 subs and thoroughly enjoying. I'm happy I smell. That is the good attitude, the right attitude. And that's really about the growth of what I had. And that's probably genuine growth. No, that is genuine growth, and probably the numbers that you probably could expect. Again, I've been going at this for over 3 years. I forget. Over 3 years. Is it almost 4? Is it almost? I forget. Anyways, yeah. And I'm at 3,000? Is it 200? Something like that. Paige says, time to musk up. Oh, just saying hello. Yeah, it's easy. Congrats. Honestly, I feel a lot of people don't want to take the time to invest in the channel, their gear or their camera presence, their editing, and their networking. That's why channels become stagnant. Yeah, I something to be said about the quality But and I don't know. Do you? So what can fragrance channels do to not be stagnant? What would you suggest? So upgrading camera equipment. I do think that some people in Fragcom still, again, I'm certainly not perfect either, but certainly they don't. Some people who have been reviewing fragrances for years still don't have a tripod, basic lighting. I don't edit videos. I know that's a problem as far as growing on YouTube. You want to be, edit videos and figure out how to make that work for you. So I see your point. You definitely do have a point, I smell. Paige says YouTube is a business. YouTubers, reviewers are free advertisements. I've mentioned that before. We fragrance reviewers are making these companies lots of money, lots and lots of money. That's for sure. That doesn't make you a shill. It only makes sense if buying houses send out free fragrances. If you have enough. I see, makes you a shill. It only makes. Yeah, I agree. Sponsorships make sense. Sponsorships make sense in my opinion, but again, it really depends if somebody's honest. There's no real way unless you're somebody making like 100,000 a year to be like if you wanted to review niche fragrances consistently, new niche fragrances, you'd have to be making serious money. And I still don't know how some of these people continue to keep up with even the designer fragrances. Designer fragrances are getting expensive. Some of them are $100, $120 plus a pop, and they review, 3 or more of them like a week. That's 300 a week. They're throwing at least $1,000 or more, and that we don't even know what they're buying personally for themselves, like niche fragrances, like things on the side. For them, what they personally like, that's just stuff to review, like the new upcoming niche fragrance. So designer fragrance. So there's nothing wrong with sponsors. Honest, yeah, it's honesty is what matters, and for sure that's a big issue. Scent of smell, I agree. Yes, I smell. Pretty much like music, everyone's gonna have a core base, find their niche. Yes, and have a following. Absolutely, we need authenticity, and that's definitely a good point. And one of the things I was kind of mentioning, people, I think, need to be authentic, share really who they are, and that's one reason I brought up the asking questions things. If I'm not saying every YouTuber has to get on a live and be very open and very, very, back and forth, like very open, like I do, very open, very transparent, lots of details about what they think in their lives, but there's you definitely have to show or at least be willing to say who you are, and again, I'm not targeting anybody individually, but it's very and I'm not trying to be rude, but some people in Fragcom are going to know exactly what I'm talking about and who somebody's talking about, but and again, I'm not trying to be rude here, but this is probably another thing I shouldn't say. But it personally offends me when people, I don't know, intentionally or unintentionally lie. Just about things in general, even if it's a small issue, like to bring down the drama, even though some people are promoting drama. One person, they brought up that they have a group called like the Scissor Sisters. And if y'all are probably going to know exactly, if you're pay attention a lot to what's happening in Fragcom, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And they're not a sewing group. And somebody said that, I forget who. I think somebody said that that's what they were, and they tried to play that off. And this person intentionally like throws out their tongue all the time, and sometimes even their fingers a little bit. And if you're familiar with that symbol, you know exactly what they're talking about. And that's fine. That's fine to show your sexuality. And if you want to be any type of lifestyle, I respect that. Be whatever you want to be, do whatever you want to do. But if you're not going to be honest with people, and I know exactly why they did that, because men are watching their channel and men are watching these people and they're attracted. And if you have, a couple of ladies in their guest, and if the guys, I guess they want to play down the fact that I don't know what they do. Maybe they're bi, hey, I respect that. Be what you want to be and do what you want to do, but don't lie to people. Don't, play, you're very, at one hand, you joke about it all the time, and somebody throws out their tongue all the time, which to me, for me personally, that's, it's kind of crass or crude. But then you kind of like play it down and lie about it. I just don't know why somebody would do something like that. I mean, why? I mean, why? If you want to hide that from your audience or play that down, why would you, play that game in the first place? And I won't get more into that. But have you done a 180 video like fragrances you've done a 180 on? That is a good topic. I could do that. And I have sold some very good fragrances, and I've sold some fragrances I still think are amazing. I just don't need them in the fragrance community. I mean, I don't need the fragrances anymore because I hardly wear them. And again, more power to the people who have hundreds of fragrances. I just don't need hundreds of fragrances, hundreds and hundreds. So. Oh, and again, thank you for the super chat. I think it is Lob Panagos. I really do appreciate that. Shout out to you. I don't remember seeing you in the chat, but thank you for lurking or watching and supporting me here. I wasn't asking for that, but thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I'll try to remember to do a video like that, Johan. I'll try to remember to put that on the list of topics and ideas. That certainly would be a fun video to do. Solomon's Vineyard says, I know I'm going to try to keep up with everybody else. I got finances, and I'm going to, yeah, definitely, be who you are, be true to yourself, and be reasonable with your budget. Play around with what you can. Don't be sacrificing, your friends or your family, or maybe other priorities, also some other things you'd like to do because of fragrance. And sometimes I feel like maybe some people do that. Like maybe you have a car repair. I don't think my car actually needs some repairs. It just needs to be reset. I need to drive a couple miles out of the way. I have like a recall on an airbag. And I don't know, maybe they'll find something and tell me that I need to pay up a couple $100 for, a repair. I should save that money for that car repair. And I feel like maybe some of that's going on in Fragcom too. So just a little bit of love here, a message to, fragrance is good. It's good, but don't let it control you. Scent of Smell says, I agree. Everybody is not going to like including and fragrance. Yeah, definitely. We all have different views on fragrances, and that's a beautiful thing. There's so many out there, and if I know sometimes it's fun to just watch people's passion for fragrance. Even if you don't like that fragrance, it's fun to see people's passion. Correct about what you're saying. Yeah, I'm not trying to criticizing Bean. If you know who I'm talking about, I'm not trying to say who they are, and I'm not trying to say what they're doing is wrong or anything like that. I'm just saying that there's got to be honesty and transparency and what is going on, maybe to a small degree. Not completely, but there is metagame being done. And people are going to see that's successful and see that there's opportunity for that. And the sad thing is there's also been other lovely ladies, and some of them, I don't know what's politically correct. There's other ladies in the Fragcom who have come out who have been extremely attractive, but they really haven't, they didn't play that game, so they didn't get the views. And then they kind of just like left Fragcom, and some of them never became big, and some of them never got mentioned, and I shouted some of them out. I don't even think some of them didn't even get above like 100 subscribers, but it's definitely a very funny world. It's very funny. Let's see, that doesn't mean because, yeah, we definitely all have different opinions and attitudes. Time. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Time to get, okay. Let's talk about the new fragrances. Let's talk about the fragrances. I'm trying to catch up with comments. Scissors. That's actually kind of funny. I'm not trying to say who it is, but if y'all know in Fragcom, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. No, I've talked about that sex sells, and I talked about that before some of these people ever even came into Fragcom, before they even existed in Fragcom. I definitely know what you're talking about. And also, Yeah, yeah. Roma from Heaven says, "I smell agree." So, do we know who's? I think we can tell, and who is honest or not. Send a smell. And I'm not trying to say this person's dishonest. It's but there's definitely a game being played. Um, and I guess I just maybe it's just an attitude or a personality thing. I'm just saying that I think that people need to be honest, at least in general, about things. And there's certain people who are protecting or promoting some of these attitudes. They can get away with anything. It's entertainment. They're people. Yeah, I guess so. What did you get your college degree? Actually, supply chain, business management in general, but supply chain as a focus. And I didn't have the connections. I didn't have, these days you have to know the right people a lot of the times. And I mean, you can get a general job in some places, but unless you know the right people and the right connections and certain people like you, and I won't get into it too much, but the so a certain person, um, a professor didn't like me. I guess I rubbed some people the wrong way, and this professor didn't like me, and some people, I don't know. And if I ever tried to work with any of the connections or any of the possible jobs through that said college, I think this person tried to work against me. So, and there's lots of other problems, but I'm ultimately accountable for myself. So that's true. But it was pretty sad to get a college degree and paid for it, most of it all, and put in all that work and effort. And then, you're promised the world, and you're promised that there's going to be more. Was it like, what'd they say? I looked and did research, and I talked to professors about it, and they said that there was going to be more demand than supply, for said workers. So the income proportionally was actually going up for said people. And then you get a degree, and then there's no jobs in that field. I'm sure that there are jobs that exist out there, but you have to have the right connections to the right people. It's it's not like they're willing to pay you above what's average and all this stuff. So, or even get you a job. So say don't change. I'm not going to change, my friend. I have, I've improved. If you watch my really early videos, I spoke slower. Again, I was raised in the South, and I'm still developing as a person, always trying to improve. But I'm gonna I'm not gonna I'm not gonna switch to dramatically or any crazy or anything. I'm still going to be genuine, honest, open, all that good stuff. So get multiple opinions from multiple reviewers before I smell. No, I definitely. Well, are you saying that about fragrances? Well, I think getting samples is the most important thing, and letting your nose be the judge. It is good to get multiple opinions on fragrances before you go for a big purchase, perhaps, or maybe maybe you are really going to blind buy. It is good to get multiple people's opinions. I like to watch reviewers just on fragrances just to see if I'm interested in the fragrance, to see if it's even worth my time. So, but if you're a reviewer, it's almost good to try to watch other reviewers as least as possible, at least if it's going to be a fragrance that you're actually going to review or want to review. So I see what you're saying, though. I see what you're saying, though. That's you definitely have a point as well. Scent of Smell says no one watches just a review of fragrances. Will we match? Yeah, you definitely have to connect to somebody's personality, and it has to be somewhat relatable. I can see that point, but I do watch fragrance reviews just for more. I guess more on the side of just for the review. There's been times where I'll watch a review and somebody doesn't show their face. It's just their hands and the camera, and all you see is their hands and them holding the bottle, and they review it. And back in the day, I liked watching those, and it's hard, YouTube doesn't suggest that stuff. If they have good knowledge and they're funny and they're witty, I'll try. There was a video I watched a little while back. I'll try to give them a shout out, but it was one of the most enjoyable fragrance reviews and videos I've seen in a long time. and it was literally just their hands and like the audio. Like I could listen to them like a podcast, and I didn't need the editing. I guess I'm different. We're all different. I guess I like audio more than visuals. Some people like visuals, but Nintendo Smell says no one. I read that. Always blind by fragrances, then watch the. Hey, some people do that, and they want to know if they're validated, if their fragrance is actually good or not. That definitely does happen. It's definitely true. Some people do that. Do you think too much performance? I think it can be if it takes away from the giving some information that's relevant or helpful to helping somebody know if they want to buy the fragrance or like the fragrance. I do think that performance can be too much, but performance is a good thing as well. And there's people who want editing or funny things, and like some people are crude, but as a kid, especially, like I liked watching Angry Video Game Nerd as a kid, and he reviews video games, and he's over the top, but also manages to put a lot of very helpful information, at least if you want to learn about vintage video games. So there's, there's editing and special effects. I mean, to me, special effects and stuff like that is more, I guess, important, or it can be important. And I guess it's more important than a performance, if that makes sense. Jed the Stud says, what's I don't know what you're saying. Tons of supply chain jobs. I've moved all over with jobs. Well, I tried for a long time to get any type of supply chain job. There were certain ones that I wanted, but I was willing to take almost anything, and I couldn't find any or get any. Maybe I don't know. Maybe my resume was really that bad, but I spent hours and talked to people for hours at college about my resume and all kinds of stuff, and I don't know. And I did tons of quite a few interviews and stuff. So Jed the Stud says Maximilian Must Knows is the best reviewer, and he ever shows is the bottle and his hands. He's definitely a legend, and that's what I'm talking about. Like some of these upcoming fragrance reviewers and some of these people who are, I guess, watching these. Some of these people, again, more power to them, and I wish them the best. But like Robes 08, I loved Robes 08, and I still think he's a great guy. And I don't know where he is, and very few people in Fragcom seem to be talking about, like, where is Robes 08? I could almost make an episode, and to me it would be funny, and I don't know how many people would actually care, but I could be like a detective and joke around, and I think that could be a funny video and be like, where is Robes 08? And but I don't know, there's he's a legend, and to me he is, or was at least, the pinnacle, or at least fairly recently, the pinnacle, or to me, the leader of Fragcom. If we ever did have a leader, or a leader figure, whatever you want to say it, figure. Anyways, and it was Robes, and he hasn't put out a review in like 6 months or more. I don't know when or if he's coming back, and I miss him. And I wish a lot of people would talk about things like that, but no, we don't. So Maximilian Must Know, he's a good guy for sure. Shout out to Maximilian. Johan says, I'm sorry, Ben, I meant performance in a fragrance. Oh, no problem, Johan. Oh, you meant performance. Fragrance, I usually don't want a fragrance to last more than 12 hours. A lot of the time, I would like a fragrance to last 8. Sometimes 10 is nice if you want like a full day or most of your day. But, if I don't want the risk of a fragrance choking me out when I go to sleep, and I really usually don't need a fragrance to perform that strong. If I can get an 8-hour fragrance to really project out there, especially if it's pretty strong to begin with, I can put on some extra sprays. I don't really need a fragrance to last 10 or 12 hours. So I've disturbed my sleep before, ruined my sleep, made my sinuses congested and all that kind of stuff with fragrances before. So I don't know. I'm not saying fragrances need to be weaker. I like 8 hours. I think 8 hours is generally good. 6 to 8, depending on what it is and what kind of fragrance it is. Um, so that's kind of just my opinion in general. But let's see. The true issue with most of anything, some people just don't or exempt what is now or can't get past what it used to be. That's true. That's true. Times change and things change, and sometimes things are not the way you want them to be, but you I guess, kind of have to keep going on and live your life the way you think is best. And life isn't perfect, and but then I guess if you are unsatisfied, that gives you the time to put your efforts into a new venture, a new effort, a new something new and creative. You can put your effort towards something else. So if Robes Await's doing something else with his life, especially if he's YouTuber or reviewing or anything else, I'd love to know. What I'm saying is we need a little bit of closure. A little bit of closure. I don't want him to disappear. There's been some great fragrance reviewers, like that fragrance, and some of these people I used to care about, and they just disappeared, and I don't know where they went and what they're doing and what happened with them. And at least I would like to know, what where Robes went and what he's going to do, and his opinions and thoughts about certain things. So, well, thanks for watching my vids. Oh, absolutely, Solomon's Vineyard, because you have watched a lot of mine, Ben, and it's grateful. Absolutely, I'm here for you, Solomon. Solomon's Vineyard. I'm here for you, my friend. It's Russell, right? Russell Mack. Nick says, I sprayed moth from Zwal just before bed, and I swear it gave me nightmares. I could see that possibly doing for you. That is a little bit of a almost gothic or vampiric fragrance. Waking up smell. Now I'm afraid to revisit the sample. I could see that happening, Nick. That is a very earthreal fragrance. I guess you could use that word. Otherworld almost fragrance. Powdery, but kind of purplish, like periwinkle and dusty and stuff. I know what you're saying. I've smelled that one before. Scent of Smell says, I love what's used to be. Nick wouldn't give my iPhone or Galaxy smartphone. I hear you. I love you. So you love those older phone, but times change. Says Ben says just ordered what is about pop by the House of Oud. It's too. Oh, you're gonna add it to your Christmas collection. You'll have to let me know if that's any good. I do want to explore that house some more. They have their new version of crop that just came out, like with a C, like crop of vegetables from a farm. But I do want to try more. Very kind of hard to get your hands on, not so available, at least in my experience. So I think I've delayed enough. Let's talk about those new fragrance releases. Let's see if there's anything new or fun to talk about that's coming out. Thank y'all for being so understanding and having fun. And I feel like I have some kinship. I feel like I have some friendship here. And people, I feel like I'm understood a little bit, and I really do appreciate that. I want y'all to know that means a lot to me. So let's talk about some of these new fragrances. There's a new Avon coming out. I don't think many of y'all are going to be too interested, but Summer Mania. I don't know if that one came out just at the end of summer or came out a little while ago, but they're catching the end of summer, I guess. Some new Tom Taylors. Don't know if that's a cheap newer brand. A whole bunch of new Estee Lauders that they look like they're going to be a little bit more modern, easygoing fragrances. Not sure if they're aldehydic or powdery. It looks like by the notes and their style, they're going to be going like in that Chanel, exclusive or premier line. If y'all didn't see, there's new concentrations with numbers they're like, I don't know, they're calling them like spray atars. They did one with Interlude Man. I think they called it like 53 with Amouage, and I saw that they did it recently with Reflection Man. I don't know if they did it with Reflection Woman, but they're coming. Everybody talks about like the vintage fragrances and how strong they used to be, and I guess they're kind of going back and making some of them stronger if they have enough people who want to buy them. I don't know why you would go back and do that. Maybe there's enough demand for that. Maybe I don't really sure what Amouage is thinking or what they're doing, but they went back to Epic Woman and Honor Woman and some of these, and they have their new like super concentrated versions. Do y'all have any thoughts about that real quick? Okay, I haven't seen. Okay, I'm getting some new comments. Melia, oh no, let me get you up. Melia said, I read that. Time to Musk Up says caramel popcorn. Oh, caramel popcorn's good. Don't tempt me. Is that a fragrance though? Scent of Smell says, how do you guys feel about beige? Is that a fragrance, or are you talking about the color beige? I'm not offended by beige, but that it does seem to be somewhat controversial, like the word moist. Some people seem to really dislike something like that. Melia says in the opening, says whatever happened to tobacco oud coming out from the Tom Ford signature line? Ever happened to? It's probably one that's been discontinued. Lots of Tom Fords were discontinued. That's probably one of them. So if you really liked it, or if you wanted a bottle, it might be too late, but maybe you can find one out there for a fair price. But probably is kind of be kind of hard to get. It's a Chanel exclusive. Shake my head. It looks like that. It looks like they're playing up that game, and they know what's successful. And what was that called? Yeah, it was is a fragrance house called Premier Note. I've already talked about them before, but they kind of played up a little bit to that Chanel DNA as well. So, yeah, it's kind of dogs a lot. Okay. Okay, there's a new Banana Republic coming out called Classic Red Eau de Parfum. Did any of y'all try the original Classic Red, and did y'all like it? And are y'all excited for an Eau de Parfum version? I don't remember much about it, I don't remember hearing much about it at all. There's a new Hermetica fragrance called 11 Cents. Some people seem to know that house. I haven't really reviewed their fragrances, but they're a niche house called Pana Dora. They have a new one called Dora Isima. I did review quite a few fragrances from the house of Orme, a very French niche house, a little kind of Indian. They have a new one called Marque. It's French. I've heard this said before. It's a phrase. I can't. My French is terrible. It's like macapa. I don't know how I'm supposed to say it, but anyways, it's we can look at the notes and see if it's interesting. Orange, lots of florals. Leather's definitely a Chypre, in my opinion. Incense, Divana, Artemisia. So it's got licorice, confident, bold notes. It's got leather, geranium, jasmine, orange blossom, iris. Lots of florals. It's got some agarwood. So if you love complicated, leathery, heavy Chypres, this one might be for you. It's got amber, it's got argamotha, sandalwood, vetiver, patchouli, and the cedar. So it's got it all going on. So don't know how much the come through. I don't think that they'll make it very oody. I've smelled the house before. I don't think that they would do that, but certainly looks full bodied. Sweet Oft, I've seen some love for Sweet Oft. There's a new fragrance called Extremely Niche. Very interesting name to call it Extremely Niche. Is it very unique? Let's look at the notes. I don't know if this is a joke of a fragrance, but Fragrantica is telling us the notes are bergamot, orange, pineapple, cedar, ginger. I do like ginger, so it might be a nice Aventus-like fragrance. We'll have to see, but I do like ginger. And then musk and agarwood. So I have to see how oody it is. I do want to try it now, but it is quite of a cheeky kind of name. I don't know. Maybe it is going to be niche. Like it could be. It could be very unique. You never know what perfumers can do with those notes and those accords. There's a new Molinard Vetiver. Let's see. Some new Ungaro fragrances that look kind of tacky. Intense for him and intense for her. There's a new Mekaliv Mon Parfum Crystal, I think, candy edition. I'm sure it's good. Mekalev makes some good fragrances. I don't know where they sell something like that. There's also Mon Parfum Pearl Candy Edition. So there's a crystal and a pearl edition. Let me get to the comments. There's a bunch of kind of like weird feminine flankers I'm kind of going to getting through. So Oh, you thought it was a city exclusive. It probably was at some point, but some of the you can still find some of those online at some places. So El Cosmico, Diaz and Durga, not what I expected, but strong, strong Creo Crescent. I don't even know how to say it. Imagine desert weeds in the background and a hint of the Mojave Ghost. Sounds pretty nice. Not, I'd have to try it. I know Diaz and Durga makes some nice fragrances. El Cosmico, yeah, it's supposed to be cosmic, light, spacey, futuristic. We've seen some kind of futuristic fragrances recently. Etat Libre d'Orange made their recent fragrance called Ghost in the Shell, based off the famous manga and anime too. I buy some expensive stuff, but La Labo just seems overpriced. I've spoken fairly negative about Le Labo as well. I definitely feel you on that. Le Labo, they're kind of made for layering, and nothing's wrong with that. But again, some people don't seem to understand that you're supposed to buy a couple of their fragrances, 3 or maybe 4 more of their fragrances, and spray, a combination that you like and create your own fragrance. You can, of course, wear whatever you want, how you want to, but it's those fragrances are meant to be layered with others, and that definitely makes sense. And I probably should have tested them a little bit more that way, and probably been a little bit more clear about that in my fragrance reviews. But as just standalone individual fragrances, I don't care for them either. And again, it's some people think it's really rude to say something synthetic and all that, but um, I guess I'll say that Le Labo, at least from most of their fragrances that I've ever smelled, do not smell very natural. They just don't smell natural to me. I buy some expensive stuff, but yeah, I read that. Matt Richardson says Alexander Fragrances has an excellent clone of Tobacco Oud. I think it's called Arabian Hustle. Yeah, definitely. They got some different of those Arabians. I have smelled that one before, for sure. And yeah, definitely, if you're looking for a value for the budget, there are some good alternatives out there for the Tom Ford and some of these expensive ones, and especially if they're discontinued or really hard to get. I don't like clones, cheating, companies or businesses out of art or creativity. But if you can make it cheaper, and especially if it's limited availability, or especially if it's discontinued, I mean, hey, have at it. If people still want it, El Cosmico is good. Okay, I'll keep my eye out. Do need to try it. I do like the House of Diaz and Durga. I spoke really highly of Cowboy Grass and Bowmakers, and I thought Burning Barbershop was interesting. I wasn't in love with it, but it was fascinating. It was a fascinating fragrance. Rudy smells so good. Byredo made some space. Yeah, a lot of these houses recently, or fairly recently, made some space fragrances. That's fun, isn't it? Scent of smell. Time to Musk Up says it's okay. Smells like matcha powder. Oh, matcha powder. Put it in your shake. Don't drink that fragrance. Nick says that's true. I layered another 13 and Gris Chanel, and it was really nice. Yeah, definitely. I should have tested more of those, and the brand doesn't seem to mention that. They put it on their website, but they, with their advertisements, and when you look at their fragrances, it doesn't clearly say that Le Labo with their fragrances are supposed to be for layering. And then almost no fragrance reviewers ever talked about that. Even some of the people who were seemed like the biggest fans of the house. And I was actually kind of shocked when I found that on their website, and I learned about that because nobody talked about that. So yeah, Le Labo was made for layering. So Scent of Smell says the new Byredo Mumbai noise is pretty nice. I'll have to try it. It's got a young rose, you say, huh? Amber Kiso is my favorite. Nick says, yeah, Kiso. Yeah, I'll have to get my nose on that. So if you don't know, there's a fragrance house called Tous or Toss. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. Tous, and they have a new flanker. It's called Love Me Onyx, but it's a flanker. It's the Parfum edition. Now, I've seen very few people ever talk about this fragrance, and now they have a Parfum edition. Let me look at the notes real quick, see if it's interesting. For a lady's fragrance, it actually looks pretty good. You got hazelnut, grapefruit, peony, heliotrope, black orchid, vanilla, vetiver, and sandalwood. That could be nice. It's probably a little bit more, maybe a simple fragrance with depth, like some woodiness to it, but looks nice. I do like the sound of that one. See if there's anything else. There's a new Azzaro coming out called Mademoiselle Azzaro Les Intenses Eau de Parfum. So they're trying. I think I don't want to judge Azzaro, but the presentation and the Moselle, they're trying to play up to, that Coco Mademoiselle and maybe the La Viesta Belle. They're trying to get there, with the bows and the Chloe. They got their little cute bottle with a bow. And I'm sure it's decent, but I don't know. I think it's funny that they tried to play up to that. So it's a cute bottle. I'm sure it'd make a nice little gift. Let's see here. I haven't tried it yet, but again, Regime de Fleur is nice. I really did like their fragrance called Cacti. They have a new one called Rock River Melody. A new fragrance from the house of what is it called? Moresque. I haven't really tried this house at all. They have a new one called Divana Marchesa. I don't know, but it looks decent. A very nice bottle. Let's see. There's some people who have been reviewing and been getting excited about, what was that? Silver Oud by Amouage. Another Cecile Zarokian I mentioned a week or two ago. Let's see if there's anything else that fell underneath the cracks. Nope, I think that's it. Are there any other fragrances that y'all have seen that looked interesting? That looked good? There's a new Armani Privé called A Milano. Let's look at the notes of this. The Armani Privé line is very underrated. They have some excellent fragrances. Their Blue Lazuli deserves to be extremely popular. It's not the same as Leighton, but it has that kind of mass appealing vanilla effect. It should be really popular, but for some reason, the Armani Privé line isn't. Anyways, this fragrance here, A Milano, has cedrat, citrus, elemi, lavender, cypress, white musk, iris, and iris concentrate. So it looks like it's going to be just a really nice, crisp, clean fragrance. Might be simple, maybe not, but this line, the Armani Privés are pretty darn good. So Killian got something new with musk. I don't know what that one's called. Blasé d'Insence is the only one I own. Yeah, and there's some good ones. There's for sure. There's quite a few of the Armani Privés are good. Yeah, Bowmakers wasn't bad, like wood varnish. Yeah, it had some of that going on. It was woody and kind of oily. Bowmakers grew on me a lot too. It's crazy at first, but the dry down's where it's at. The opening has almost like an oil varnish, like a violet, like an oily, maybe slightly industrial quality to it, but it's not too aggressive. But then it settles down really nice. I definitely. And Azzaro is a low tier brand. Yeah, but I try not to beat up on Azzaro, but I was joking at their expense that they were cute. But Azzaro sometimes makes a good one, sometimes. So it might be worth a try. You're right. You're right. Let's see. Kiso is really good. Gucci Guilty Absolute with the amber. Yeah, Gucci Absolute. That they came out with a bold fragrance, a kickback. That was fun. So yeah, that was a bold one. And I'm sure all of y'all know about that. It was polarizing. Some people loved it and some people hated it. Silver Oud gets too sweet for me. Oh, you've already tried it, Nick. You've already got your nose on it. You say, to be fair, it's been hot. Yeah, maybe it's better for the colder weather. Maybe if you have a sample or something, maybe you already have a bottle, give it another chance. And let me know what it's like. I do want to try it. Time to Musk Up says, yeah. Scent of Smell says Musk Butterfly. I was told it's coming out in India. Who makes that fragrance? What brand? What company? Scent of Smell. Yeah, there's definitely some exclusives out there, and sometimes you never hear about them in general. Sometimes you hear about them, and it's too late. You hear about the fragrance a little bit too late. Time to Musk Up says notes look like a Chanel perfume. Yeah, I hear you there. uh, so, any more thoughts or questions? I think we've gotten all through it. I'm glad that some of y'all listened and some of y'all understood. And again, I talked about some stuff that might be fairly controversial, but I hope I addressed it in a respectful way. I wish everybody the best. I wish everybody success. But, you know, I do think that we need to, as a society, at least be honest about some of the stuff that's going on. We definitely have to be honest and communicate, that's for sure. Scentaur Smell says, yeah, I went in Bergdorf and asked about it, and that's what they told me. Well, you got it straight from the source, Scentaur Smell. You got it from the mouth. So, I'm going to trust you, and I'll keep an eye out. Don't know if I'll try to get, or when I'll be able to get my nose on it, but it's I have no reason to not believe you. Says Nick says, how do you feel about Sheepras? I'm just too of a noob in thinking they're all pretty much smell the same. Well, they have similar core elements, just like any certain fragrance style. Sheepras in general, about the only thing that makes a Sheepra is the aldehydes or a large component of florals. And they have to, have a aldehydic type of feel to it. That's really what makes Sheepra a Sheepra. But a lot of the times, especially vintage Sheepras, will have everything from patchoulis to animalics to woods to lots of oak moss and even booziness, even aggressive animalics. So Sheepras, there's a lot of different Sheepras. One of the best modern feels of Sheepras that I've ever tried was Zafiro by if I can't even remember, Zerzhov. That fragrance is incredible. One of the best modern versions of a Sheepra. But there's a lot of classic Sheepras, and there's a lot of people who, there's people who appreciate more of like a clean Sheepra. There's people who like more of like a warm, like ambery Sheepra. There's people who like tobacco Sheepras. There's people who like dirty, complex, seductive, sultry Sheepras. So there's quite a few variety. There's lighter floral, even somewhat citrusy Sheepras. So there's some variety. Again, I don't want to sound like, I don't know, some people probably think I'm really rude, but Sheepras, there was overlap, and I do know fragrance history, but as a guy, I kind of, I guess, lean traditional in the sense that cheapers are generally not for me. Some of them are fascinating, some of them are interesting, and I could pull some of them off. There are a fair number of sheepers that are unisex, but it's just generally a style that I appreciate and I respect. And there's a lot of very well made, very well executed fragrances, but it's just generally not my style. And I think y'all know that Sheepras generally not something that I go for, generally speaking. So, how do you feel? Sent you saw today. Sorry, trying to catch up with the comments. Sheepropolitan recently, and it smelled too familiar. Well, there might be some Sheepras that smell similar now, but when Sheepropolitan came out, there wasn't a lot like it exactly. It's not, and that brand, is kind of famous for, taking classic DNAs, and they're not terribly innovative, but Sheepropolitan is more about the classiness and the feel that you get from it. It's not really meant to be experimental. So I don't know. Maybe you need to go on the deeper side of niche. Maybe you need to go into the weird side. Maybe you need to try some Bortnikov. Maybe you need to try some Bortnikov, my friend. Maybe you'd like some of that stuff. Get yourself some Vetiver Nocturne. Ooh, that'll put your head on a spin. If that doesn't spin your head around, I don't know what will. So I have to sample. Zafiro is a little bit more mass appealing. and that's one reason I spoke so highly of it. It's definitely more trendy, but it's very well done. And if you like a mass appealing sheeper that you can wear anytime, anywhere, very well done. Time to Musk Up says, "All right, I'm out." Yeah, it's about time. I feel like we're gonna wrap up. We've been here for about an hour and a half. So, all right, I'm out. Yeah, good. Have a good night. Time to Musk Up. Have a great night. Bean Man 67 says the Killian. What's the name of it? The Killian, the new one. It's out. You saw today. I'm not sure which fragrance that is. I know some, but y'all been mentioning new Killian. Let's see here. Scent of Smell says, I actually did not make it to the Killian counter. Oh, I need to go to a boutique. Again, I've joked about it before, but I've actually never been to one. I just pay tons of money for the samples and I spend too much money. I need to go to a boutique. Guerlain and Gucci counter, and it's on the website too. And made me mad. I didn't stop by. Oh, so you missed out on the chance. Well, you'll get another chance. Fair enough, Nick. Yeah. It's try those. Try the maybe go on the weird side. Bogue is kind of classy too, but you might like Bogue. You know, Bogue isn't too risky, but they got some. You could try some of the weird Bruno Fazzolaris, the Francesca Bianchis. There's some good stuff out there. So if you like a Chypre, Francesca Bianchi, try Lost in Heaven is still kind of wearable, but I really like that one. Lost in Heaven by Francesca Bianchi might be my personal favorite Chypre of all time. So that's definitely a good one. Beanie Man says, I gotta go. Yes, absolutely. Hope that y'all had some fun hanging out with me tonight. Speaking true, speaking honest, speaking from the heart, and having fun, focusing on the fragrance. I hope that y'all had fun about that. And I hope that I'm likable and somewhat relatable and all that good stuff. So, anyways, I'm going to wish y'all a happy weekend. As y'all know, I like to say, take it easy, cook up some good food. Again, try to be around friends and family, or at least Skype them, at least hang out with them. And, relax a little bit. Take some time for yourself, treat yourself. And take it easy. And fragrance is a fun hobby. I hope that y'all had some fun here today, with some friends. So that's what this is all about. A little bit of community, a little bit of camaraderie, a little bit of, a little bit time to relax and just talk about what's going on. So anyways, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for being a friend. And I'll see you soon. Again, be ready for Monday. My fall list is coming out for you, so get ready for that. And I'll see you soon, everybody. And join me on Instagram. Post every day, extra content, more content. If you want to, see more stuff from me. So I'll see you soon, and bye. Happy weekend.